Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Little Miss Funeral YouTube channel. August 30th, 2018 is actually National Grief Awareness Day. This day recognizes that it takes time to heal from a loss. And it also recognizes that grief doesn't have a particular course that a person has to follow. This is a great day to take notice of the people in your life who have been experiencing a loss and have been going through grief, but also a day for you to recognize and work through your own grief as well. Every single person will experience a loss differently. And this is just a great day to realize that, a great day to reach out to a friend, to ask them out for coffee, or just to send them a text message finding out how they're doing. And for people out there who are going through grief and who have been experiencing a loss, it is good to know that you are not alone on this journey. It's okay to ask for help, and it's normal for your grief to feel like it's overwhelming and all-consuming. A few weeks ago, I received an email from a Robin Boyd who wanted to reach out to me to see if I would be willing to partner with her today. Robin is the co-founder of an app called Good Grief. And Good Grief is a social networking site for people who have experienced a loss. It was co-founded by Robin and another woman named Kim, who both experienced losses in their lives but lived about 1,000 miles apart from one another. They were introduced to each other from a mutual friend and quickly formed a friendship over texting. They were able to reach out to one another and to be a support system for one another, even though they lived miles away from one another. The point of the Good Grief app is to be able to be a resource for people out there who have experienced loss in their lives. I've made a video about talking about dealing with the death of somebody very important in my life by the name of Eddie, and I've written a couple of different blog posts on littlemissfuneral.com just explaining my own personal loss and dealing with his death. For those of you who are new to my channel and who might not be aware of Eddie, he was somebody who worked with me at the funeral home, and he really was kind of like a second grandfather figure to me. Even though he was a little up in age when he passed away, his death was very sudden for me. And I had found that when Eddie died, I was stuck someplace between coworker and family member. Because Eddie and I really weren't related. We just worked together every single day. But our bond and our relationship was so much more than a coworker that I really did have a very difficult time dealing with his passing. And I had found that it was very hard for me to talk with other people about it, just because no one really understood the depths of our relationship, and nobody really understood who he was for me and the kind of support system that he provided to me day in and day out. When he died and when I would talk about his passing, people would kind of look at me and be like, well, yeah, but you just worked with him. And it was difficult for outsiders to see that special relationship that we had and to really see what we meant to one another. I wish that I would have known about this app back then, because it's good to sometimes just be able to have an outlet where you can talk to other people who just get it. And I think one of the great things about the internet is that it really allows you to connect with so many different people. So you can really sometimes find a non-judgmental platform where you can just sit down and message somebody and explain the loss and the emotions that you are feeling when you are dealing with the death of somebody that you love. Sometimes when you're experiencing a loss, you can almost feel at least I almost feel this way, that I'm pestering and I'm bothering people who are in my immediate family and in my immediate circle. Because when I experience a death of somebody that I love, it becomes all-consuming. I don't want to sit there and talk about my same emotions over and over again, because I feel as if I'm placing a burden on somebody else that I love that really doesn't want to have that burden placed upon them. I mean, sure, my family members and friends would do anything for me, and they would always be willing to listen to me, especially if I'm going through a hard time. But you don't want to place any unnecessary stress on top of them as well, because then that comes back to you. So to be able to have an app that's convenient, that you can just log into and talk with somebody who is facing something very similar to you, is just such an amazing thing. We all need support in our lives, especially when it comes to death and grief. So when you first log into the Good Grief app, you're going to have to answer a couple of different questions. They do ask you your gender, your date of birth, and your location as to where you live. They then want you to go into a little bit more detail as to who exactly it was that you lost and how. And you can make more than one selection if you'd like. They give you options like parents, children, even miscarriages, which I think is such a fabulous resource, because I know from others in my life, oftentimes people who've suffered a miscarriage do so in silence, because a lot of the times they haven't vocalized to their family members yet that they've even been pregnant. They then want you to select when this loss occurred, so you can choose that it was a more recent loss, or if it's something that you've been struggling with for a while. They then ask you your religious beliefs, if you have any, your marital status, and also if you have any children. Once you answer all of those questions, your profile has been completed. Once you sign up, you get 3 free months to try the app out to see if you like it. After that trial period, if it is something that is helping you through your grief, and if you do find value in this app, there's a $4.99 subscription fee every single month. Once you answer all of the questions and you begin your free trial, you can then log in, and at the very bottom of the app, it shows you different people who have similar losses and time frames that you do. You can then message them and see if they're willing to connect and see if they're willing to talk with you. It also tells you the last time the person has been active. So if you click on their profile, you can see exactly who they're grieving, the time frame that they're grieving, and the last time that they logged into the app. It just really allows you a good support system and an awesome way to be able to connect with people out there who might not be local, but who could understand very similar situations to what you are going through dealing with a particular loss. Whether or not the Good Grief app is something that you just want to try out for the 3 months, or if it's something that you find value in that really helps you along your grief journey, I just think that it's such an amazing thing that Robin and Kim have created to help such a wide scale group of people. Talking about grief is normal. Going through grief for an extended period of time is normal. Being able to have a support system is something that is so unbelievably important when we are dealing with our own losses in our lives. And it's so great to be able to have a platform for people out there to utilize if they need it. Today, I want to encourage all of you to reach out to somebody that may be having a difficult time, whether or not they lost somebody recently or a couple of years back. Grief is a journey, and it's one that often doesn't end. I wanted to thank Robin for reaching out to me so that we could partner together on this video. I'm going to put all the information for the Good Grief app in my description bar below. If you like this video, you can always give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos that I put out in the future. And thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all next time.